58 trillion naira budget for the year 2026. I'm being joined by Musa Muhajid Seitawa, who is the coordinator on Northern Youth Major Groups. He joins me live in the studio. A very beautiful evening. You know, I was going to say compliment of the season. Oh, let me say compliment of the season, but definitely not Merry Christmas, because
in advance.
Thank you so much indeed for coming.
Let
me begin by asking, what do you make out of the 58 trillion naira budget that was presented by President Tinubu at the joint section of the National Assembly on Friday? What's your analysis in all of these budgets?
Fellow Nigerians, it's a beautiful evening or beautiful afternoon. So it's a part of history if we consider the history of our past leaders. It's only President Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu inherited insurgency and also insecurity. And believe me, Nigeria will be surprised in the history of all Nigerian past leaders. Nobody faced the challenges, the difficult leadership like Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Why do you say so?
He inherited the economic crisis first. He inherited insurgency and also inherited insecurity.
You don't think every other government before him inherited
all the
economic crisis too?
Previous government has already relied on only one position, because if we consider when Obasanjo was the president of Nigeria during 1999 to 2007, when he started facing the economic crisis, he privatized Nigerian assets, including the NEFA, Nigerian Aviation, Nigerian Communication, and also a lot of federal government housing properties, and solved the issue. But Tinubu, when he became the president of Nigeria, the highest problem he inherited is issue of subsidy. And before he became the president, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on the budget of the past President Buhari, there's nothing like subsidy in the budget. But now the consolidated budget, he promises January, February, March will be solved all the contractors' payment during those 3 months, and all the debts that they are claiming borrowing in his government is solving the issue of insecurity. And now the budget of the insecurity is almost over 5.4 trillion. That clearly indicated the highest budget of his ministries. The budget defense, the defense has taken the highest rate of the percentage. And we believe, since he overhauled the service chiefs and also appointed the new Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, and also the State Minister, Matawale Marado, they work to end the insecurity in Nigeria. Especially before the budget, he already declared state of emergency on insecurity. So this is the only way we believe there must be a renewed hope agenda. By the grace of God, very soon this insecurity will become a history in Nigeria, because the people that will deliver the mandate, now they believe they are the president is serious to end the crisis of insecurity in Nigeria. And look at how the atmosphere of the budget, all the members of the National Assembly, all the senators of the National Assembly believe Asuwaju became the most influential president ever in the history of Nigerian leaders, because when he say no, it's no. When he say yes, it's yes. There's a lot of crisis between the contractors and the members of the National Assembly. But in one time, when the National Assembly called the meeting of the contractors and the members of the National Assembly, when they take the matter to his office directly, he solved the matter, and he promised that the payment will be released very soon. And secondly, when you look at the crisis of ASU, every government came with this problem of ASU. because they are the major problem that are facing the challenges of education system in Nigeria, and they used to destroy the education of our future generation, because always they are on strike. But anytime they demand, he used to solve the demand. So this is a kind of leader that Nigeria need in a time that the economic facing serious challenge. And secondly, when you look at the issue of after the education system and health sector, he already budgeted over 3.2 trillion for health, from the management, drugs, and everything. And we are serious concern for the governance. If you look at the infrastructures, capital expenditure, and also human development, you see the distance between the previous government and his Renew Hope agenda in 2026. It came with a new vision of hope that will solve the problem of poverty, especially in terms of agriculture, because the major in our economic is agriculture, because he already implemented the agricultural diversification when he budgeted 185 billion now for only wheat, for the season of wheat, because it is just like irrigation, and we believe that those irrigation is in the northern Nigeria. A lot of people will concentrate it because the fertilizer is going to be very low in price, because of this money is going directly to the masses. And I believe second option of our government is the way that the leaders of his cabinet became serious about how to solve the problem, because the campaign of 2027 is approaching. Whoever did right, he know he was doing right. Whoever did wrong, he know he is not coming back. So we believe this 1 year will change the problem and the situation of our crisis in economic by the way this budget has already designed for the Renew Hope agenda.
All right, let's quickly do a little overview of the budget.
Yeah.
Now, outlining the fiscal framework, the president said the 2026 budget projects total expenditure of 58 trillion naira and expected revenue of 34.33 trillion naira.
Yeah.
And capital expenditure is estimated at 26 trillion naira, while recurrent non-debt expenditure stands at 15 trillion naira.
Yeah.
Debt servicing is projected at 15 trillion naira with a budget deficit of 28 trillion.
Yeah.
Of course, which represents 4.82% of
GDP. Our GDP. Yeah.
Then you wonder, how realistic is this? I'm asking how realistic all this is, because we know 2027 is going to be very busy year for
because of
election and so many things. But then we are wondering, even the 2025 budget, without so much disruption of our policies and the rest of it, it's overlapped. And now in the 2026 budget, help us understand the realistic of these figures.
But in reality, you know, as I was saying, he inherited the budget of 2024 and also the budget of 25. It's not implemented. But now, that is why I told you he promised those January, February, March will end and consolidate all those, the remaining of the 2024 budget, and also the 2025 budget will be implemented, and also 2026 will be continued. So you see the gap. Are we
going to have two budget performing at the same time?
Yes, because it's continue. The one that continue from 2024, he inherited it from the previous government, and also he made his own budget for 2025, and now
so that's to say that the one he inherited in 2024 ran through the 2025.
Yes, because in 2023 budget reached 2024 because of the election time. Everything has been stopped. But when he came to the board as a president, he never cut those budget. He said that it's a consolidated, continue with the project. If now, assuming the contractors collected the sum of 25% or 30%, it's not, he allowed to pay the remaining 70%. If that 70% is not ended, assuming it reached the target of 80%, the remaining 20% will go directly unpaid. And another, if it's not paid on that 2024, it reached 2025. So automatically now he is going to continue paying before after January, February, March. It will be ended and continue with the budget of 2026. That is the consolidated budget of 2026. It will start the budget of 2026 on May. So that is why I told you the vision and the mission of Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is clear based on knowledge. It is not just an accidental. He planned everything, and all what he planned is going directly step by step. I will not forget, I was in the office of the Special Advisor on National Assembly Matters on Thursday, that the circular came and informed the advisor that president is coming on Friday, and nothing changed. He is the only president that has a competence to address the National Assembly Parliament without losing confidence. Because when he say no, it's no. When Asuwaju say yes, it's yes. That is why I have a confidence that this budget is consolidated and it will achieve 70% to 80% before the end of 2026.
70 to 80%.
70 to 80%. I told you this.
Have we seen any budget in Nigeria that's even achieved?
I believe the way the revenue allocation. Look at the graph of the revenue allocation. That is where I have the confidence and clear indicator Nigeria will source the revenue, and also that revenue will pay for the capital expenditures. He is the only person who consider how Nigeria will stay on its leg, because the past government of Buhari, even the salary is paid, is borrowing. Even salary in Nigeria is borrowing.
This government is still borrowing.
No, it's borrowing but not on salary. He is borrowing but not on salary. Look at the bond that now became the way to settle the problem of the economic. Even the petroleum now is always going down, because he already win election in a critical situation that even Nigeria is about to collapse. The economic of the country is about to collapse because of the cashless policy by the past government of Buhari, because everybody became poor and poorer. But now people start coming back to their own blueprint of the economic, between the civil servant, the economic class, that is business people, and also the traditional rulers. Everybody is now thinking of how to build the future of Nigeria under the leadership of Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And when you consider about how this international conspiracy became the major problem of his government, when one of the members of the CAN write a petition to American government claiming that Christians are killing in Nigeria. And while we believe both sides of us, I'm a Muslim, you're a Christian, we love each other, and no way that you should plan to kill me, no way I should plan to kill you. I'm telling you the truth of my heart. And I believe Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his wife is also a Christian, both of his family. Some are Christian, some are Muslim. Look at the history of Abiola. Some of his family, some are Christian, some are Muslim. Look at former Senate President, Nigerian ex-Senate President Bukola Saraki. His wife, she's also a Christian. Most of his children are Muslim and Christian. How do you think this kind of issue of religious will come on board to divide Nigeria?
Let's focus on the discussion of the day. From the budget of Renewed Hope Agenda now to the budget of consolidation, renewed resilience, and of course shared prosperity.
That is Renewed Hope Agenda for the 2027 and 2026, 2027, by the grace of God.
So the Renewed Hope Agenda is in continuous.
It will go directly to your life.
What would you say are the major priorities highlighted in the 2026?
Especially for the insecurity. Look at
the insecurity.
Because I have two examples that I need to tell Nigerians about the issue of the governance, which affected the state and local government. You see, in Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only president that supported the local government autonomy, and he take the matter to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has already make a judgment that every state must give the local government its own share to solve the problem of its common people that are living in that local government, because that plan, it is the only way that the common people, the poverty will be reduced. People will stop coming to the cities, relying on other unnecessary business, because majority of the local government masses depend on agriculture. And we believe in this budget of the agriculture will take a lot to reduce the fertilizers that will go directly to the common man. And secondly, the issue of state police. Even yesterday, it was already launched state police in Kano State. While we have a problem from there, because the governor has already politicized the issue of the state police. During the inauguration, there is nothing like security of the federal government attended between the army, police, security service attended that inauguration. But we woke up in the morning that Konkoso, his political leader, is the one is claiming controversial statement against the traditional rulers. That is a major problem of the state. And secondly, he also give instruction to the commissioner of police in the state that he should withdraw the security for the other governor, emir Amina Adobairo. That is why we already inform and send a serious message to the Konkoso and also the judiciary that he made the statement of as a contempt to the court. So we believe that if there is no democracy in Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will never allow the state police used by the governors, because most of the governors are too selfish, because they already block and design poverty. That is why a lot of people are going to become thugs, drug abuse, and also pawn snatchers in northern state. And the problem of insecurity is in the northern state. If you go to Zamfara now, you will see there's too much poverty in the state, while there is mineral resource in the state, and the governors are not even consider how to solve the problem of the people.
I'm wondering, a high rate of poverty you've just mentioned, and I'm wondering the projection of the revenue that is projected at 34 trillion naira in this current economy. Do you think that projection is right or is realistic?
But let me tell Nigeria,
how do we raise that in this?
Investors like the people that are coming from China to invest it into the mineral resource. Did you know how much they are paying for that business? Did you know how they are paying the state government?
And oil is projected as 1.8 billion barrels.
I believe
rather
the issue of crude oil in Nigeria is became like a history, because all the debt, a lot of previous government has already collected debt from foreign investors that are taking the crude oil back to them. The money, the source of the crude oil now, we are exporting almost like 1.8 million barrel per day. But how much are they paid and deduct from that amount, pay for our past debt? That's why I told you, Asuwaju inherited a lot of problem in economic crisis in his government. And we are not talking about that issue. Look at the battle between Farouk and Dangote. We have another time that we are going to discuss.
You know.
Do you know how much Dangote is paying for the revenue? Did you know how much he was targeting Nigerian economic? Did you know the gap? If now you fight Dangote, the gap of the Dangote, nobody will replace it. Nobody. Because he is the major spinal cord of a Nigerian economic. That's why we intervene into the issue between him and Pangason. And the one mobilized our northern youth to go and address the National Assembly. And since from that day, we are targeting the Pangason to say something. They never say it. And at the end of the day, we had one of the northerner, Farouk, trying to destroy Dangote. while he never know he give the opportunity to the other marketers to import the oil, while Nigerian are not the citizens of Nigeria will produce more than the oil, the exported oil, imported oil that is more important to our Nigerian transporters. So you see, there's a lot of controversial issue in Nigeria. What we want to know, because you are asking me how to get the source of revenue, and we have the investors. Even Dangote is invested. Abua, somebody is is invested. Mike Adenuga, the owner of Glo, he is investing. They have invested in Nigeria that is going to cover the gap of the revenue. Because it's not about what people are thinking. Government know how, where, and when, how to end that revenue gap. At the end of the day, even if we are going directly without the affected problem which caused by the past government of Obasanjo, if assuming now Nigerian, the national asset of Nigerian communication, Nigerian NEFA, Nigerian NEFA authority, and also Nigerian aviation, it is ours, owned by Nigeria, we will never have this problem, because the source of the revenue in Nigerian communication is more, it is going to replace the gap of civil servant salary in Nigeria. If you look at only what is earning in Nigerian communication, but 70% it goes to foreign investors. No. So they are paying only, also they are paying for revenue.
If we are going to look, at the projection of 34 trillion as revenue, we have to address issues like unemployment, inflation, and of course the cost.
That is where I was telling you how Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu designed the consolidated budget. Those problems will be as even 10% is out of poverty.
How will they be solved? Want to understand how? That's the question. How?
According to the way he budgeted in insecurity budget, education, health, and infrastructures. That is Minister of Works. You see the huge amount that were being designed in the budget that will solve. Look at, if I give you the example of Abuja, Kaduna, Kano. It's on process. The minister is doing very good job to end this linking between southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. And look at the Badagry, Lagos. Look at Sokoto, Badagry, and also Ibadan, Lagos. It's over 1,200 kilometers from northern Nigeria to southwestern Nigeria. From southwestern Nigeria, Badagry, Calabar, to eastern Nigeria. So you see this from north central Nigeria, that is where this road Abuja, Kaduna came from. Did you know how much now from the revenue allocation were being taken to pay for the contractors to end that road? It will become the history. Tinubu inherited this project because of the past government neglected to pay the Julius Berger. When he came on board, he already stopped Julius Berger because they are adding money based on dollar.
So you don't think another government that will come after that of
that is why we need to continue to pass Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We not inherit.
We will never allow to lose this election, my dear. We will never allow to lose this election. Nigeria, Asuwaju will win the next 2027 election by the grace of God to continue the project that he inherited from the previous government that neglected to pay the contractors.
It's not up to you and I to decide. Nigerians will decide.
Nigerians will decide, but we are supporting Nigeria because we are representing the masses. And I'm the leader of the Northern Youth. Either you like or not, I know how many millions of my supporters will benefit from this budget, because it will help our youth in education. It will help our youth for providing job opportunities, especially in the farming sector. Because I believe this irrigation, if we rely on the irrigation in northern Nigeria, let me give you a good example. This Hadida and Jamare. Did you know how many states are benefiting from Hadida and Jamare? There are over 7 states in the northern Nigeria. But if this money go directly for supporting the farmers, I believe 70% of unemployed will be solved to get what they want, because we need the food. And every day, if you remember, the last 2004, everywhere people are crying and suffering about hunger. Even the opposition, depend to destroy Aswaju with hunger. At the end of the day now, the hunger became history.
Was it
food are getting down every day down, and the measures that we have been taking in this budget, we believe 40% of the budget in agriculture will be going to support the fertilizers. The fertilizers must be reduced because for the easy to get farming. Even the civil servant will go directly to farm and get the benefit from there. Because we rely in Nigerian food, we are not exporting the food. Even the rice, before the history, everybody, Thailand food, the food, the contaminated food is coming to Nigeria without knowing that it's contaminated. That is why we are living in a serious challenge of diabetes, hypertension, and so else. But now Nigeria are eating the food that they farm by themselves. They plant it and farm it and irrigate it and sell it to Nigerians. I mean, we are out of time, but before we go, help me make sense out of this. Or how does this 2026 budget compare to the previous? Because we've always known that it's always been laws, budget, but implementation has always been. That is where the previous government has failed. What do you think previous government has failed? The past government. Okay. What do you think should be avoided for what happened 2025? Discipline. Would not repeat it in 2026. His government became with a discipline. Well, I'm glad the president mentioned that. I told you the president has already designed a discipline into the civil servant, one, the politician, two, also the common people. Because if the opportunity came directly for the contractors to go and work, the oversight must indicated that either you did a good job or you did a wrong job. Because no any member, no any senator will have the budget and the project for his own local government. At the first, he was selling the job, not going and do the job for his people. But now everybody are rushing to go and do the job because he know he will be going back to his people and elected him going back. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us this evening. It's been wonderful having you. I thank you very much for your analysis. It is clear that the 2026 budget appropriation would play a significant role in Nigeria's economic and social landscape. While the proposal highlights government's intentions, their success would depend heavily on implementation, transparency, and of course, accountability. The budget is not just a government document. Thank you for joining us. And to this point, let me use this medium to say a happy Christmas to all our Christian brothers and sisters all over the world. May this season bring you nothing but joy and peace. Thank you very much, and do have yourself a beautiful celebration. I am Chinaza Asebu. Also my prayer to everybody. Yes, I wish you on Friday. A happy Xmas. Of course, do enjoy your Christmas celebration, and do make sure you stay safe out there. Thank you very much. Wish you best.
A nation rich with potential, where innovation meets resilience and ambition fuels every journey. One sector drives our economy, connects our people, and powers industry. It's more than transportation, it's transformation.